Welcome back. This is the Thursday edition of All Angles here on eNCA. KwaZulu-Natal's farming communities have been hit hard by recent storms and flooding. Livestock has been killed and crops have been destroyed. It will cost the province millions of rand to not only fix the infrastructure but also to provide relief. Let me take you to eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli, who is watching developments and is able to bring us an update now in terms of the situation. Lethiwe, so after the storms and the flooding, it's now time to assess and see what the picture looks like. What are officials and players in the agriculture sector in KwaZulu-Natal telling you about that aspect?
Well, Tulasizo, this morning we are in Sidera, where the government in KZN is busy making those assessments. They have been visiting some affected farms here under the Umgungundlovu municipality. And what we have seen this morning is that a lot of farms and farmers have been affected by the hail and also the storm. But at the moment, I'm joined by one affected farmer, who comes from the KwaDukuza municipality, as this meeting with the MEC is currently underway. And thank you so much for joining us. I just want to know, as a farmer, exactly how were you affected by the storm?
Yeah, as much as we appreciate the rain and the weather that is conducive for farming, it sometimes comes at the time where it's overloaded and it's a lot of it. But the rains that we had and the floods that we had has affected, especially with me. I work as an advisor to the farmers, at the same time have a farm. So we have been planting sugar cane, and I also have some vegetables as well that I do. So we had we planted almost 2-3 hectares of sugar cane. Most of it was washed down the roadside. And I had also the contours where you get into the farm. We cannot get into the farm because the floods has affected the roads that goes into those farms. And at the same time, when you're planting, you're tilling the soil. When you affect the soil, as the rain comes, it just takes all that soil. So you have to come back and replant again and plow again and put the seed into the furrow again. So it has affected me and also a lot of farmers around the area, especially where I come from in Stenga, Watuza area.
We were just talking about the fact that it's planting season, and of course a lot of farmers have been affected by this and are also losing money. In that aspect, how much have you lost as the farming community?
Okay, the first one is time, because whichever crop you're planting, time is of essence. So you cannot plant at the wrong time. When you plant at the wrong time, the crop will come out at the wrong time. And also the market where we're supplying is going to be short of the products that we are supplying them. So it has affected. It's actually affecting the whole value chain. Because where it started at the wrong time, and it's also going to affect the whole of South Africa is going to be affected, especially when there are conditions like this. But as farmers, we don't have to lose hope, because we have to thank God that He's actually giving us rain, and He's warning us that we need to be proactive rather than be reactive. So it's that is going to be a problem.
And lastly, you're currently in a meeting with the MEC for Agriculture as the farming community. What exactly do you need from government?
Yeah, the problem with the government, sometimes they come late. As I said, the timing is of essence. But at the same time, we appreciate what the government is trying to do, because they want us to give them the information so that they can actually assist us. But as farmers, I also think we need to be, as I said, proactive. We need to have our own resources where we can put money as for times like this. When the government comes in, they come in because they'll come back maybe 3 months, 4 months down the line. By the time your cabbage is finished, your tomato is finished, and you have to start all over again. So what I'm asking the government to do is to have a quick assistance in terms of not to wait for a long time, because these things, I mean, you lose a month or you lose a week in planting, you're losing a lot. So that's what we would like the government to do, to be proactive as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So Tulasizo, that is Babshongwana, who is a farmer and also a supplier, just basically saying that they need help from the government and they are hoping that government moving forward will have a fast response. But he's also touched on the fact that a lot of people will be affected by this storm. As you heard him saying that farmers were affected in a way that they had recently started planting because it's planting season, but unfortunately they have lost those crops and the value chain will be affected moving forward. But they are hoping that there will be plans put in place for this.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's even talk of the possibility of that cascading all the way to even affecting food prices as well. That is eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli. She's out in the area of Sedara in KwaZulu-Natal tracking that particular situation after those heavy rains. It's a bit of a balance. You need rain for farming, but too much rain can be problematic, as we are seeing in some of those instances.